Something that sometimes goes unnoticed or undermined from a spectator point of view is how much of a mental toll that might end up taking on you, because you are, without an actual dopamine hit, stimulating a dopamine hit so that you can keep going. Now, we want to come to a chapter in your life where you've actually gone through both physical and, I guess, like some amount of mental fight that comes with it, right? What I find on the positive side is an inspiration where you've sort of fought through something where many people might think of giving up or even not even thinking about a dream just because of a particular issue with themselves, whatever it is, minor or major. But how does one go above that? And then what is your experience? I mean, who better than you to talk about it? So if you just want to spend some time there telling our audience what it is, what it was, and if someone is listening who is going through something like that, what should they do?
Yeah, so I was born with this defect in my legs, which is called Clubfeet. Most people don't know this, but in India, about 150,000 kids are born with Clubfeet every year. Oh. I don't know the exact stats right now, don't get me on that. But that's a lot of kids, right, being born with Clubfeet. The Clubfeet is essentially when you're born, your legs are twisted inside. So ankles are twisted inside, not legs actually. Ankles are twisted inside, right? When I was born in 92, there was no Ponseti method in India, which is there. Ponseti method is the simple way of putting a plaster around your leg and then in a particular place so your legs get back into shape. It works with young kids, but it generally doesn't work with adults. After a particular age, it doesn't work. So I had like multiple rods in my legs to straighten up the legs, 4 surgeries. And while growing up as a kid, I never knew you don't know that this is a limitation unless you're told so. Right. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know it was a limitation because I'm growing up as a kid in a world where this is what I have. So there's this mental model called the map is not the territory. Okay. So if there's this interesting story which goes like 2 fish cross each other. Okay. And one fish asks the other, oh, how's the water? And the fish goes ahead and then asks another fish, what is water? Okay, so you don't know that you are in water already. You don't know that, okay, this is a physical limitation. So you do what you can. So I never thought of it as a limitation as such. It was not that big a limitation growing up because the surgeries that I had gotten had corrected it to a significant degree. But I still have like limited motion in my ankle. One of my feet is like an inch smaller than the left one. The right one is inch smaller. So that is a limitation. Limitation in terms of one is a flat foot. That's not that big a concern. But then it leads to more and more injuries as I keep pushing myself physically more, right? Because the two structures are different. Even to this date, I've never seen it as a limitation as much. Quite honestly, I just see it as a challenge more. I think I was speaking to a friend who's a therapist. So we were having a conversation over dinner, and then I was telling her she didn't know about the Clubfeet, right? And then she was telling me that, how do you take it up? I'm like, I just take it as a challenge so that I can do more, right? I can maybe do something for the kids who are born with Clubfeet apart from me. And that is where it struck me that most people don't think that way, because she told me that most people who come to her with any issues think that the world was bad to me. Why was it bad to me? Rather than the world was back to me, what can I do for it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I can't pinpoint to what led me to think in this particular way, or I can't pinpoint to, I can just tell you that I'm fit.
Right.
So this is my attitude, this is how I do things, but I can't pinpoint to what led to it. So I don't understand the human nature good enough to tell you what led to this particular approach towards it.
No, I think like this is good because one theme that and it's difficult to do it, but I don't remember where I read it. It's like respond, never react, right? And as human nature, it's always first instinct to react to things, but it's like take a deep breath, take a step back, see what the problem is, and then solve it. Right? Like it's always a problem solution sort of thing. try approaching it in that way, and then life becomes a bit more easier.
There's this concept of chimp management. You have to manage your inner chimp all the time, which is your instinctive brain versus your logical brain. Right?
Yeah.
So that aligns here. I think if you can do it in sports, you can get a long way ahead.
I like, I love the way you put everything. I guess like overall, coping with adversities, I guess in general, like let it be like physical, mental, anything, I guess, any adversities in general in life. I guess it's also about, adversities kind of push you to be the best form of yourself. I think at least that's been my experience of whatever little experiences I've had in my life. But
the last 1 year of
exactly, and that's right. And something wonderful started from that, which is this podcast. Like I was sick for a while, and like that led me to start this podcast like with Akash. And I guess I've, at least in my life, I have seen that it has pushed me to become a better person in various different aspects, because I think it's like when you're down, you want to like pick things up again, and then things that you take granted otherwise, you have to kind of push through on your own, I guess, and that kind of probably motivates you even more, I guess. I don't know.